I was always obese. They used to call me Hathi.
I would like you to speak about this Ironman.
Ironman is the longest single day endurance event.
3.8 kilometers.
Swimming, then 180 kilometers cycling. Then you come back and you do a marathon.
Do you think there are any sacrifices you made, some adjustments you made to accommodate your professional life, your family life, and your athlete life?
I've had bosses who will be throwing instruments, shouting at you, screaming at you.
When a person is, say, after 40.
Oldest guy who's finished, I think, is 84, 85.
We have to learn attachment with detachment.
Yes.
What do you think, idea of burnout?
So, and the medical profession, from your PG life, you have work all the time. And I used to be told, eat when you can, you don't know when you get the next food, sleep when you can.
What do you think is the importance of hobby?
In our country, if you have a hobby, it's taken as slacking off.
Hello everyone, I am Dr Swarupa Mitra. I welcome you to yet another episode of my podcast. Today's conversation is about endurance, dedication, and discipline, not only just in the body, but also in mind and spirit. Our guest today lives in two worlds. One, the world of a high-stake neurosurgery. The other, the relentless world of marathons and triathlons. He's a doctor, a neurosurgeon who understands the human brain from within, and also an athlete who constantly tests the limits of human body. Today's episode is about perseverance, mental strength, fitness, balance, and what it truly means to stay strong in today's world of modern life. I welcome Dr. Anurag Gupta, a neurosurgeon par excellence, an endurance athlete, Ironman, marathoner, triathlete, swimmer, and a cyclist. An inspiring example of discipline in motion. Hi, Dr. Anurag. Welcome to this episode of podcast. This is the second one. I'm so happy that you are here and I am very excited to talk to you. So last 2-3 days I have been preparing. You're so multifaceted. So I have been thinking, what all questions to ask you. And you can see there's so many questions I have piled up. And let's see how much I can get from you. So the first thing, I was thinking, how to introduce you. If someone asks you, are you a neurosurgeon? Are you an athlete? How do you introduce yourself?
Well, first, thank you for having me here. It's my pleasure. So I'll say, if somebody asks me who I am, I normally say I'm Anurag. I never call myself a doctor or an Ironman or a triathlete. And depending on how the conversation goes, so first and foremost, I'm a human. I'm Anurag. And then depending on where we are, who we're talking to, I may be a doctor in certain situations, I may be an athlete in certain situations, I may be a runner in certain situations. But I say first and foremost, I'm a normal day-to-day human person and I call myself Anurag.
I think that's nice. Anurag, I think that suits yours. Anurag means, I think...
It means love in Hindi.
It means love.
Yes. It means
so
love
I think it suits you. Your parents must have thought a lot before.
I guess some people will disagree, but yes.
Yeah. So, how do you, these are so separate fields, neurosurgery and then jumping onto marathoners and endurance athlete, I would say. So, how did you think of it? Did it happen all of a sudden or was it planned? How did you reach there?
So, I think I'll start much earlier when I was always obese. So, even in school days, they used to call me Hathi.
You are obese.
Yes. So this is not what I used to be. This is
can't imagine.
Actually, being this fit is shorter duration of my life as compared to the majority of my life has been spent being much more obese than this. So I was always overweight, always called this thing. So typical Baniya family, and so in Baniyas you are supposed to be khate pite ghar ka, and say, no, you're not fat. Your bones are heavy. That's a very typical, answer all of us get. So So always like that. I was used to play. I was born in IT campus, so we had all the facilities there. We had a pool, we had courts and everything. So we always playing, but I was never, I'll say, fit like that. And as life went on, especially, how stress is, especially MCH, PG, you're working all the time, you're stressed out. Even then your hospital is stressing out, your boss is shouting at you. So by the time I finished my MCH, I was sitting around 100 kilos. And really, I remember I went shopping. I said, let me buy a double XL. I'm going to increase more. I'm currently extra large, and I'm sure within a few months I'll be hitting double XL. Then I still remember I wanted to buy some new trousers. I told the guy, give me 38, 39. He said, sir, up to 40 aayega. And that somehow that was a, mental cheese off. I said, no, this is enough. This is time to start losing some weight. And luckily that time we had a gym which had opened up. So I joined a gym, I never ran before that. Started doing regular exercises, diet control, and gradually lost some amount of weight. Then after finishing my MCH, I came to Delhi. Delhi, when you come, traveling so much. I was staying that time in Dwarka, working in Gurgaon. So again, working, and neurosurgery is stressful. You're there whole day in OT. By the time we go back again, the weight started going up. So I tend to put on weight very fast, and my weight again went through the roof. Then my father also has been, physically he had been issues. So I've seen mobility issues have been there. And as you see patients, I think the most important thing you learn is as you age, you have to be independent. You have to maintain your mobility. And that is what is your wealth, not the money you have in the bank. You can have all the money, but if you can't look after yourself, you can't do your things, that is really troubling. So that sort of, I think maybe 7-8 years back, slowly started with doing some exercises and running, and then from running, progress to step. So like I say, endurance sports is a journey. It's not like, I tell my patients also, it's not like I want to do this today. It's something which you have to make it a part of your life. And it's a lifelong journey. And again, if I say neurosurgery and endurance, both are endurance sports. So for us, like people say, sir, how long would be the surgery? I said, for us, a short surgery is 3-4 hours. A long surgery is 12 to 14, 15 hours. And same thing for an endurance sport. So both are a physically and mentally demanding profession where you spend a lot of time doing a particular activity.
Yeah, I think you're very right. And I didn't look at it in that way. Neurosurgery is also a kind of endurance. In fact, it is both physical and mental, both.
So the longest I've operated is about 12 to 14 hours. And the longest run I've been an event is also 13 hours. So very similar. And it gives you that, endurance to physically and mentally go through it. So they're quite similar in nature.
Something you said just now, you were brought up in IIT campus.
Yes.
So how is that?
So my father was in IIT. So I was born and brought up in the campus. And luckily we had all the facilities there, but still I was never a very active and always been, like I said, I was so-called Hathi. So I was always the chubbier kid of the whole batch.
So now, before you start neurosurgery and before you start a marathon, say, or a triathlon, so how is your preparation? Like this is neurosurgery is more about precision. You have to be there, all the nerves, all the audience who would be seeing, it is about the brain, which controls the body. And they're so fine nerves. So it is more about precision. But an endurance athlete running for the marathon or triathlon, it is more about endurance, how you endure. It is probably not so much of precision. So how do you mentally prepare yourself differently from these two?
So I think we have a saying, especially when you're doing sports, you'd say they trust the process, right? So the coach will tell you, you've done the training, you've done all the part, but you always have that fear, whether I have been training for 6 months, on the race day, what will happen, will it go things. So you said, trust the process. So same with neurosurgery, like we have been trained, we've been doing it. So yes, especially before a difficult case or a major case, you always worry, will things go the way you want? Will things, really pan out the way you want? So, but you have trained for it. You have prepared for it. So you have to trust the process. And I think that goes both ways. And again, planning, both endurance sports and neurosurgery is a lot about your planning and your preparation before the process, the D-Day. Either it's a race or this thing. It's not about you land up there and say, I'll do this. I can't say I'm going to do an Ironman just by waking up and doing it. So you have gone through the process, you have planned, you have a certain preparation. And that sort of, I think, works both ways. And again, in both the things, you may have the perfect plan. I will do surgery like this, I will do this, and things go wrong. Sometimes things don't go the way you want. Things suddenly start going wrong. You may suddenly have bleeding and you're worried about something. Some artery may get, you don't expect and starts bleeding. What do you do? So that's where, same thing happens in a race. You're doing Ironman, you can have a puncture. You have the best, your cycling is going perfect and suddenly you have a flat. To change the tire takes time. You have to change your tire or you wait for some survey to help you. So the unexpected events happen. And when you have a long surgery or a long event, both things are prone for having that. And that's what you have to be prepared for. How do you handle the unexpected?
In fact, I was just going to ask that because nowadays we see in youngsters, they don't have this patience to take any loss in your stride, to take disappointments in your stride, to take failures in your stride. So I think our youngsters, they don't have that. But for you, so how do you deal? Like you said, a brain surgery going wrong. Wrong means the expected, not as expected, or same as the marathon, or you're running for something and it come as it. Maybe you were not the winner. It must be happening so. So now, how to take this loss in your stride or failure in your stride?
So I think the most important thing is to learn from it. So like we always taught, a mistake happens. Everything can't be perfect. Either in surgery or or even your day-to-day life, things will go wrong. That's why in surgery we say we have a percentage of complication. Now I am not a believer in that percentage term, because if I say 2%, who are the 2%? I don't know. But as long as you can sort of learn from it, I can go back and analyze. Is there something else I could have done? Is there something better I could have done? And at a certain extent, you have to disconnect, especially in the medical profession. You are empathic to the patient, you are connected. But if you get too emotionally invested in something, you will stop functioning.
Yeah, I think this is something very important you said, to get disconnected. It would be nice if you could elaborate on this, how you do this.
So like, let's say patient is there, you tried your best, you did the best surgery possible, it didn't do that well. Right? You expect, I've done this should happen. But sometimes things don't happen like that, or they are complicated. And sometimes they may not turn out the best for the patient. And unfortunately, in our field, if we have a problem or a complication, it normally has major complication. Either they will have a weakness on one side, they will stop speaking, they'll develop some sort of a neurological deficit. So you do try your best. Definitely, I agree that, something has gone not expected. You do try your best, do the best possible. I do analyze, is there something else I could have done which may have prevented this? But you have to move on. If I keep on thinking about it all the time, then I'll get paralysis. I won't be able to do the next surgery or next patient after that.
Absolutely.
So that is something where I think all of us, especially in a field like neurosurgery, we do see a lot of morbidity, where people have a lot of deficits and even a lot of death. We do see a lot of death, major head injuries, major problems. Even most of it, like a glioblastoma, the most common brain tumor, he's going to die at some point. So you cannot keep on thinking about it all the time. Same thing happens when an event. So you prepare for the race, you've done everything perfectly. The day of the race, you have a fever, you're not feeling well, you have to skip it. Like for a triathlon, you're there for, let's say, 12 hours on the field, and you have a punch. This has happened. People have had one puncture, two puncture, third puncture. You carry one tire, two tire. You can't carry the whole this thing. So you abandon at that point. And you come back later and sort of go over it, take over that fear and come back later. So that's something which we have to learn. And I think, like you said, even for me, I was very impatient before started doing endurance events. And that's how training is, how our teaching is for PG and this thing. You're always running, do this, do this. And that is something which has been taught here to have patience. Things will happen, but you have to give it time.
So I think that like somebody, I think Sudha Krishnamurti had said in one of her podcasts, that we have to learn attachment with detachment. So I think, like you said, I think this is also be a tagline: connect with disconnect. So this is very important for us to learn. Everybody, all of us should learn this. So now the stress management, there must be a lot of stress. So this is what we talked about, is failure and standing up from failure and going to another new event, a new day. So how is the stress? There must be so much of stress behind it, both your marathon and neurosurgery. So how do you deal with the stress before the event or before the surgery and after or during? So how do you manage the stress?
So I think always the first time is the most stressful. Either it's the first race you're doing, first of that type of race, or the first that type of surgery you're doing. So obviously you're more stressed because you feel that everybody's looking at you. Will things go right? You're doing for the first time. And again, like I said, trust the process. So if you have planned it, you have planned your surgery, I will do so and so step, I have done multiple other things which skills are involved there. You obviously prepared for it. Same thing for the race. You have your training plans, you've been doing your running, you're doing a different thing, and hopefully things will come together that day. But sometimes they don't. And that's where you have to sort of retrospect, look back. Is there something else you could do? I have like a sort of philosophy. Things I can control, I do get stressed about. Things I can't control, I'd say there's no point stressing about it because you can't change it.
Absolutely. I really endorse
So that's something I say everybody, like, if I can control this, let me, try to do what I can do.
Yes.
But if it's out of my control, then
it's no use thinking about it.
There's no point thinking about it and crying over it, right?
Yeah,
Because
crying over
you can't do
it.
anything about it.
Yes. So I think this is something that all of us have to learn. And do you think, something this, your athlete and being a sports person has taught you, which medicine has not?
So I think patience, be patient,
Yes.
take your time. And something what has really taught me is to, not get disturbed or really worked up about something not going the way you want it. So that is something which I think medicine as such, when we learn, we never learn that things go wrong. We see in OTs, we have people who go really wild.
Yes.
There's, people start shouting
Yes,
and
yes.
screaming and things going haywire.
Yes.
And then you see people who really take control and they just calm down. They cool the whole. That's a scene in OT across the world, especially neurosurgery where it's high stress.
Yes.
I've had bosses who will be throwing instruments, shouting at you, screaming at you. And I've had bosses who will say, okay, something is wrong, just calm down. Let's do this.
Yes.
So that's something which you learn, especially something like an Ironman, such a long event. So many factors are not in your control.
Yeah.
You're
I
worried
would
about-
like you to speak about this Ironman, because I too, when I saw in Facebook and when Suman told me about this, I didn't know about Ironman.
Okay.
So I think many of our audience would not know. And when I went through it, it's a great feat. I don't know how you did it. So would you like to tell our audience a little bit?
Ironman is the longest single day endurance event. So basically starts with a swim, 3.8 kilometers. It's in the open water, can be in a lake, can be in a sea, or can be this thing. After that, you go into cycling, where you have to cycle 180 kilometers.
So 3.8 kilometers
Swimming. Then 180 kilometers cycling.
180 kilometers
And
cycling.
then you come back and you do a marathon after that. That's 42.2 kilometers.
Without any break.
So you have a timeline, you have a time limit. So normally most races will be 17 and a half hours. And you have the time to finish in that time. So it's up to you. So it's not like you're doing it non-stop. You do have breaks. You have to call a transition. You can stop on the run. You can't really stop on the swim because you have to go to one position.
Obviously.
But yes, you can take a break. But you have a timeline. And you have timelines for each event also. Like you will have a cutoff for swim is 2 hours, 10 minutes. Then you have a cutoff for the cycling and a cutoff for the run. So in that time, you have to finish that. But it's not like something you can you jump into day one. It's like a journey. So I still remember I started running maybe around 2018, 2019. And that time running 1 or 2 kilometers was and the first 10K, I remember I did 10 kilometers today. And I was out for the whole day. I was lying on the bed, very exhausted. I ran 10K. And now to a stage where I can think about doing a 21K anytime. Maybe let's go and run. So it's a journey as you go progress, and that's how you start enjoy it also.
So how did you go for this Ironman? Is it something you apply for?
Okay, so Ironman is basically a company which does it all over the world.
Okay, it's a company.
So anybody can go and there's no qualification criteria or something.
Okay.
You can go and just buy the ticket and go and race for it. But yes, there's a lot of preparation which is involved behind
and you go to another country, right?
So we don't have a full Ironman in India. We have something called a 70.3. That's like the half the distance. And full Ironmans happen all over, like nearly every week it's happening somewhere.
Okay.
So you can just, wherever you want to do it, you can take it and then you train and you go for it.
Okay. Those are some of the pictures were just amazing. Your cycling and swimming pictures, amazing. I think we'll put them some of them.
So the best place to do is Europe. Europe, the atmosphere, the culture. Can you imagine you cycling people are locked in for the cycle. The roads are closed. They're in the house. They will come out, have a picnic, cheering you on for the whole day. The whole run track, you'll have people cheering you on, dancing, partying, and that whole atmosphere is amazing in Europe.
Yeah, I can almost imagine this. I can also almost imagine this. So, Dr. Anurag, now we were talking about your professional life as a neurosurgeon, as an athlete. Of course, they are part of you. All of us, we have a personal life as well, a family life. And at your stage, you have a family to go back to.
Yes.
So how do you think there are any sacrifices you made, some adjustments you made to accommodate your professional life, your family life, and your athlete life?
So yes, definitely, especially when I was training for the Ironman, it was quite intense. You're doing about 18, 20 hours of training, and then recovery after that is another process. So everybody has to be on board because the moment you're free, either on the cycle, either you're swimming, either you're running, and that kept on going for about 6 to 7 months. So actually, that's one thing now. That's why for now, recently I've changed jobs and everything. I've sort of gone down on the training, and to do a full Ironman, I know I'm not going to do it anytime in the near future because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. But otherwise, yes, but it has made me more disciplined also. So rather than, so a lot of us, I see my colleagues, my friends, they finish work, either they're sitting on the couch, watching TV, having a drink, right? So that's time we spend doing something else.
Yes.
And most of the workouts we do in the morning. So morning is the time where actually either everybody's sleeping or your kid has gone to school. So that 1.5 hours in the morning can normally be used.
How do you prioritize all these three responsibilities? How do you prioritize?
So,
because I believe prioritizing is something one has to learn in life.
So as the race comes closer, you don't like to miss your workouts. You're more focused. I want to do it somehow. Before that, or you're just in the lean period, you work, sometimes work. See, our work is also like that. You can get a call anytime. You have odd hour calls, you surgery at odd hours. So that obviously takes priority.
No, any responsibility, like, a child having his examinations. So how do you balance that? Somebody or a child has to be dropped to school and you have to go for your cycling or any other event.
No, the child has to be dropped, it has to be dropped. So you adjust your cycling accordingly.
Yes.
So a lot of cycling we do indoors. So we can sort of change the timing when you are free. We do it later. Sometimes it has happened, I've been cycling at 10 in the night. After dinner, everybody slept off because I have a session which is left for the day and I have to finish it. So yes, it does get obsessive. Your friends do get pissed off because you go to a party, said, 9 o'clock, I'm done. I'm not drinking, I'm going. So that people get used to it.
Yes.
After some time, then you get labeled, he'll come and you'll go off. So I think it's important not to be totally into it all the time. Just maintaining it for maybe a few months is fine. But now, like after the race, I'm like back to normal. It's okay. If I have some other work, I will miss the workout. I am not really stressed about the fact that I'm missing a workout. But yes, just before the race, because you're so stressed about it, yes, every workout is like, you get stressed, when I'm going to do it, how am I going to do it, where do I accommodate the workout? And in the long process, missing a few training sessions was never an issue.
It doesn't make a difference.
Yes, doesn't make a difference. But it's like the whole, if you're not there for weeks and weeks, yes. So that's something we have to learn, that fitness doesn't go away if you don't do something for a week. It doesn't go away.
Yeah, yes.
But yes, if you're away for a long time, so none of us are professional athletes. Obviously, you have to work.
Yes.
And Ironman is not cheap, so that's you have to work for that. And families come, but the family has to be, a part of it.
Yeah,
they have to understand that,
yes. Understand
that, everybody has to be bored that you're doing this. It will require a sacrifice from everybody else.
Yes, but I think you'll have to, speak for yourself that this is what I am. Then gradually people start accepting you.
Initially, like when I started running, I remember somebody's party. I said, I have my first half marathon tomorrow. No, it's my party. How can you not do this? And especially if you've been the type who is always outgoing, sitting in parties till late, drinking. When you change, there's a lot of resistance which comes from others.
Yes.
Right? So when you have friends who do the same thing, they're very understanding. That, he's going to come do it, but they'll do the same thing. But for you see, like, how does it make a difference? For them, that is more important. We always joke, now we start maybe at 5 in the morning. There was a time when we used to finish a party at 5 in the morning and we coming out. And now we see those people, maybe they must be laughing at us. Morning they're up at 4 o'clock and they're running like this thing and they're finishing a party coming at 5 in the morning.
Yes.
So we've gone from there to here. So I feel there's a phase for everything.
Yes.
That college days phase, when you're supposed to party, enjoy, we did that. Now in that phase that, really partying all night doesn't suit us.
Yes.
And fitness and health is also very important.
Yes. But I think some way, like I said, people accept you the way you are. But maybe, somebody, even unknown to you, must have been influenced by you or inspired by you. That look at this person, he's so dedicated to what he wants. So many times, unknowingly, we influence or inspire somebody with our actions.
So actually, for me, that is the most, when I see, now somehow, when I finish this, I did the Ironman. A lot of people I don't know directly, they know about it.
Yes.
So I suppose I meet somebody like, you are the guy who did this, right? I said, even one guy starts, gets inspired.
Absolutely, yes.
He doesn't have to do an Ironman. From the couch, he starts getting fitter. That's the best gift you can get from anybody.
Absolutely. Somebody all of a sudden says, oh, Dr. Anurag used to do this.
Yes.
So that is why I am doing it.
So a lot of them have seen me when I came here, I was not fit at all to now. And so when I joined new place, and they're like, so you look always fit. I said, wait, I'll show you my old photographs. And they're like, acha, aise the? I said, haan, aise tha.
Yes, absolutely. So we should keep on being ourselves and believe in ourselves. So the world will change. Now, what about burn? There's a lot of talk about burnout, not only in doctors in all professions. So let us talk about doctors. What do you think, idea of burnout? Do you think you face that burnout?
I think yes.
And what is burnout according to you?
I feel, especially when you're training, especially when you're in something like a neurosurgery or any high stress training process, you're supposed to be working all the time. I'm sure during your PG, if you're sitting and doing nothing, your boss will look at you like, what are you doing here?
Yes.
You should not be found sleeping. Like we had a joke that I can have a night call. I have not slept the whole night, but if he sees me sleeping, he'll screw my happiness. So,
absolutely.
Right. So that's how we are trained.
Yes.
So when you finish that and you come to practice, you're so used to working all the time. Not having work is suddenly stressful. That I'm not doing something.
Yes.
So and the medical profession, from your PG life, you have work all the time. And I used to be told, eat when you can. You don't know when you get the next food. Sleep when you can. Because you don't know when you get your next sleep.
Yes.
And we have done 24, 36 hours, 48 hours with minimal sleep, minimum food, and you're just working.
Yes.
So and that somehow continues in the corporate life itself.
Yes.
And that's for a lot of professions. So, and it's always, so I tell a lot of people, I feel that work should not control you, you should control your work. So when the work becomes your control, that's where burnout happens. Because you're running from job to job, running from one work to next work to next work. And you're not really, you stop enjoying that.
Yes.
I enjoy my work. Give me a surgery, I'm happy any day. But when you stop doing that, when it becomes a routine or a task, I think that's when you start getting burnout.
Yes.
And we see a lot of people in our OPDs now who have, just bodies have given up, or they're physically, psychologically, emotionally so tired that they stop
So
working.
that means burnout, you think, is relative?
It is. Everybody has a different threshold.
Different, yes.
Everybody has a different threshold, definitely.
Yes.
So I think it's important to understand your threshold and I think have a life beyond work.
Yeah, that is exactly what I was coming to. That how do you deal with burnout, stress, exhaustion? What would you do? What do you do?
So if you say Ironman is considered a midlife crisis sport, right? It is actually.
Please repeat that.
It's a midlife crisis sport. Okay,
Ironman.
all endurance, yes.
Okay.
Because it's typically the majority of people are doing it in their 40s, who are professional because it's expensive, takes a lot of time and commitment.
Okay.
So if you see majority of people on this thing, not the professionals, the people are doing for the fun or sake of it, they're middle-aged, they are professionals.
Okay, I didn't know this.
So basically what has happened is at some point in your life, you realize that, what else? So I think what happens is we all driven people. Yes. We all need something to be looking forward to and keep on improving. At some stage of your life, you come to a stage that I'm doing everything, but still your growth doesn't happen the way you want. Like professionally, you may be growing, you got your work, you got your job, you got the next thing, but there is a lag phase where you get stuck, and that is when you start looking for, either you get frustrated there. Some people turn to eating, drinking, partying, and this thing. Some people like us turn. So we need something to keep on pushing us.
Exploring,
right? Yes. Something new.
Something new.
So for us also, it's like, you start with a 10 kilometer, then you go half marathon, and you say, okay, you do a full marathon. So for me, after a full marathon, I figured I can't run more than this. I get bored. So I went to a Ironman because you have 3 sports. You have a triathlon, you have 3 sports. Some people go into ultra, they go to 50, 100, 200. There's no limit to what you can do, the human body can do. So this is where, then your profession starts moving again, then you sort of dial this down. So it's a balance between both of them which happens. So I think all of us hit that professional, that stagnation which happens. And that is what is frustrating for many.
That, midlife, like you said, midlife crisis, 40s blues in the 40s. I think that is But that again, it is in your control how you deal with it.
So you have to take, I guess you have to take control.
Yes.
Most of the time people are not in control.
Yes.
The crisis, the life is taking control of you.
I think you have mentioned that many times, taking control of your life. I think this is very important. And you have actually showed it, exemplified
And
that.
I think very important to say, we should bother about ourselves also. So we are also in a society where it's all about others. Whether it's your work with your parents or your family or your wife or your children. But what about yourself? Or vice versa, right?
Yes.
You're always taught to be looking after others. And that's where people don't forget about looking after them.
Yes.
And that's when they crash. So I say, if you are yourself fit, you can look after them better.
Yeah.
If you're mentally and physically fit, you can give them a better care. But if you're also mentally down, then how will you look after them?
Exactly. A happy soul can make others happy. Yeah. So, what is the importance of hobbies, you think? Do you think, like for you, yes, but not many people would be interested in sports. So, what do you think is the importance of hobby in a daily life stress?
I think it's very important to have something other than your work. So, what I've seen is, especially the Europeans, they all, if you go to Europe, 4:35, they'll switch off. They'll go and do whatever they want. Somebody's cycling, somebody is doing fishing, photographing, whatever. In our country, if you have a hobby, it's taken as slacking off. It's like a lot of people consider, you're doing this because you don't want to work.
Yes.
So that is a concept which has to be changed. And I see so I have my friends who do this. If they're an MNC company, if they have a European boss, if they say, I went for Ironman, they say, oh yeah, I've done 3 of them, I've done this, I've done that. It's like, no problem. You want to take off? Go. Right? If you have an Indian boss or an American boss, it's very likely the guy will say, you're just trying to take a holiday and don't want to work. So the whole mindset is different. But I think we should have something other than work. And one reason why people keep working is because they have nothing else to do. You see doctors typically. Doctors are known to be very, shades. We know about a profession.
Yes.
Nothing else. Right? Most of them have no idea about anything else.
Yes.
So when you're like that, you keep on working. What else you do? To sit and do nothing is also an art which is very difficult to learn. It takes a long time to figure out.
Yes.
So Saturdays they're working, weekends they're working because so many of them do OPDs, this thing. So I've been very clear from there. Sundays, even if I go somewhere for OPD, I say I'm not going on Sunday. Sunday is my off day. I don't want to go there.
Yes. And Sunday and I think Saturday night. Like for me, Saturday night is very precious. Even if I go somewhere, I generally make it a point. I come back on Saturday night. I sleep at home.
You're home.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing, Dr. Anurag, so you have achieved so much at a young age. You have achieved so much. What makes you? I find you very grounded, very approachable. So that is why I thought I'll have this chat with you. What keeps you so grounded? You could have been very arrogant at your age. Anybody would be. So
some people still find, so when you, especially neurosurgery, is like we all have God complexes.
Yeah.
That's one reason I chose neurosurgery was because in the hospital you're the biggest gundas around, right? You can stop anything. Like CT scan, out, my scan. Surgery, I get priority, right? So you're but that's important for a profession also because time matters.
Yes, time matters. Yes.
Especially the way I was trained was like if I tell my boss, scan didn't happen because the scan was happening, he'll go after me. Said, throw the patient out, get your scan done.
I know, yes.
So that complex comes and arrogance comes from there. So I think it's taken a long time to, be grounded about it.
And not only the neurosurgery, you have done so much more other than the neurosurgery. So you should have been flying somewhere.
I guess I've been brought up, I never, as I said, I introduce myself as Anurag. I never tell I'm so and so unless the conversation goes that way.
Yes.
There's normally somebody else telling me that, he's this, he's that. And even for races, like I personally feel I've done decent times and all that. I will never sit down and try giving information to random people. And one thing I feel, unless a person itself, is there to understand what you're trying to say, there's no point in just giving them gyan.
Yes.
And I see a lot of people just especially even for events, people are doing things just for the sake of it. I remember one race, we saw this one girl was there. She did one half Ironman in Italy. We saw the next event, me and a friend. It's like, I said, you're doing half again? I'm doing full. Half to ho gaya, why should I do a half again? I said, okay. she failed in the full because it's a different ball game itself.
So do women also participate in Ironman?
It's called Ironman. It's not become yet
this
thing, but it's Ironman for both of us. Both the thing. There are enough women also. So they have championships. They have complete different prizes for women. Everything is there. A lot of women participate.
Right. So like I was saying that being grounded, you said that how you were raised. So I think that is why I caught you over there. Being raised in IIT campus, I think that mattered in an educated family where academics is very important.
So that is true. So I think, especially being, my father was a doctor, my grandfather was a doctor, my father was here, my mother lawyer. So I think in IIT, doing a PhD was not a big deal. Everybody is a PhD. Right? And even people studying to a PhD was not a big deal. Same thing when I say my cousins who are in the business family, like he's done BSc, this thing is a big thing. Like, you've done MCA, so what? It's like base level. I've had people, I know people who IIT, PhDs, postdocs, Harvard, Stanford, this, that, MIT, and so in that whole scheme of things, you're a nobody.
Absolutely, that is true. Because I too was brought up in the RIT campus. My father was a professor, so these things are there. Being a doctor, nothing. Ye to hona hi tha.
Everybody is a doctor.
If not this, what will you be? So that kind. That's
so education was never taken as a special thing. Right?
Exactly.
PhD is like a common thing, right? Everybody's a doctor.
Yes. That is why probably you are the way you are today. So now let us talk about something about the fitness. So when I want to know, and many of us, how you keep yourself fit, and there are so many myths about fitness, about nutrition, about diet. There's so many WhatsApp messages going on. I'll really take this opportunity to talk with you and about fitness. What do you think? So first, let me ask you, what is endurance? What is the definition according to is endurance?
So endurance is something that's different for everybody. So whatever, like for us now, endurance is doing whatever event we're doing. So you have to build up that endurance, and none of it. So very honestly, when I started running, even 1 kilometer was a big deal. It was running and walking, right? The first 10K I have taken 2-3 months before I did the first 10 kilometers. Then it was a gradual progression to a longer. So something which is a journey. It's not something which you're going to pick up in a day, especially if you've been sedentary. But nothing is impossible. Anything. I learned swimming maybe 3 or 4 years back. I'm still very bad at swimming. It's my biggest fear. But I swam 4 kilometers in the sea. So it sort of builds up. So endurance is something, whatever you want to do, whether it's for your sports, whether it's your work, you have that energy and the physical and the emotional and the mental energy also. Because beyond a point is not the physical pain, it's the mental pain. The mental strength you have to finish a task.
Absolutely. And what is fitness? What would you say? We all talk about fitness. We have to be fit, and it has both a physical component, a mental, a spiritual, everything together. So what do you think is fitness? Means what we should want to aim for fitness? What is fitness?
I think what I see is basically you maintain mobility. So I think we should, none of us are into a professional athlete sort of thing.
Yes.
We're looking at it when we get older. So I see people who are active, independent, they're the happiest. And that is what I think is really money in the bank, is your fitness, is your activity level and your independence level. And as we get older, we will less help. We'll have to be more and more active. And that's where the Western world really differs. So they are forced to work from day one. They are active. Here we have a lot of options. We tend to, okay, koi kar dega, ye kar dega. But so maintaining your muscles, as we get older, we lose muscles, and that's some amount of strength training is required. Some amount of regular physical exercise, whether is yoga, is running, it's Pilates, it's Zumba, whatever you like. And it keeps changing also. Like for me, when I started running, then I running to cycling, this thing. Now I'm more into weight training now. So last 6 months I've been doing a lot of, and I would never like gym before, but now I've started enjoying it. So it has to be evolving also to what we cannot do the same. I don't think we can keep on doing the same thing for 30 years of your life.
Yes.
And we have so many options. We have so many ways of doing the same thing. So whatever you enjoy, you should do. But definitely maintaining your muscle mass and your bone density. You must have seen osteoporosis is a big problem in our country.
Osteoporosis is a big problem,
because people are not active at all, and then they have issues. And mobility.
So we talk about BMI, body mass index, fat percentage, bone density, So, could you just throw some light? How is it important to us? We have seen them in the textbooks, but how is it important? How do we measure our fitness? Are these criteria to measure our fitness?
So if I say BMI, I also used to believe BMI is everything. We are taught, in our books that BMI should be so and so. So my BMI is 25. So I come into overweight category as per BMI, right? So I was also worried about it. I'm coming 25, and like it's not about BMI only. It's about body fat percentage. So when people talk about weight loss, so I used to be 100 kilos at my maximum. Now I'm around 78, 80 kilos. So yes, so it's not about the weight per se. It's about the amount of fat you have. And all studies show that, it's a fat percentage which decides your other problems, not the absolute weight.
Yes.
And especially when people start losing weight, they either go into a crash diet, and then what happens is they lose their muscle mass also. And that weight never sticks because you have lost muscle also, which is your metabolic engine.
Yes.
So I always tell, if you're doing, you have to increase your muscle mass and decrease your fat percentage.
I think that is increase your muscle mass and decrease your fat percentage.
So like this show, that this 1 kilo fat is this much and 1 kilo muscle is this much. So even if you are like, for me, if I lose weight, if I increase my waist size has come down. From a maximum of 40, I'm like 32 right now. But my weight has not come down so much because I've gone from fat to muscle.
Right. So the weight circumference, which we had studied, waist circumference.
So again, it comes down. So it's irrespective of the weight loss, because you're putting out muscles, and the muscle consumes energy even not doing anything. A fat does not consume any energy when it's not doing anything. So your basal metabolic rate goes up. But it's a long-term transformation. It is not unless you've been active and fit from beginning. It's a long, steady, slow process for doing it.
So nothing is very quick. So there are a lot of fads these days. The keto diet and intermittent fasting. So how true are they? How important are they so many people are adopting them? So is it very healthy, you think?
I think diets, if you say, I believe in moderation. Whatever you do, that's what the whole saying is. Ati nahi karo. So I have said, you should be moderate. It's either way. Eating too much, eating too less, both way you're wrong. If you're starving your body, you're not going to get adequate energy. And especially when you're in endurance sports, so people say glucose. So I've seen people, I'm doing runs, I'm eating protein bars. I said, how will a protein bar help you? It's not giving you the energy you have to do.
Yes.
So we're talking about, when we are doing something, my coach will tell you have it. I take about 120 to 130 grams of glucose per hour.
Yes.
That's my target, right?
120 to 130
grams of glucose per in Ironman, in a cycling. So that's amount of glucose per hour. That's amount of sugary stuff you're eating.
Yes.
But that's your fuel.
Yes.
So by changing your body metabolizes your fuel. That's how biochemistry works. So if you're doing a keto diet, doesn't really make sense. So if you're moderating your food, that's important. And definitely a calorie deficit has to be there.
Yes. So how do you maintain your diet? What is your nutritional schedule?
So I'll say, okay, so our policy is that we do all this so we can eat anything we want. So I've gone from eating 2 samosas to 1 samosa. I'm not.
Okay. You do take samosa?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything I eat.
I have stopped samosa. But from next time I'll take a samosa.
So I become like there used to be a time when there's a chips packet. The moment the packet is open, you finish the whole packet. Now it's like take a few chips and you stop it. So I've gone to that, moderation. Even then, when I want to lose weight, I'll sort of reduce it somewhere, but I will not sustain it for very long. And routine workouts, quite extensive, cardio, this is there. But genetically, I think I have a very difficult time losing weight. I don't lose weight as fast as a lot of my friends do.
Right.
For me, I have to really struggle to lose weight. Every kilo is a fight to lose that.
So that is again endurance.
So endurance, but then your body also adopts. Your body gets more efficient. So when you start that first running, your body may be burning much more energy. Then as you get more and more fit, the body's efficiency has gone up. It is not burning as much calories as what it was doing before.
Yes. And how much are these, do they vary when a person is, say, after 40? So we are talking of people who are after 40, they have had a very sedentary life, and all of a sudden, let them, midlife crisis comes. And if a person wants to take up some exercise, so do you think it is late for them, or what? How do they begin?
I think it's never late. So if you come to an Ironman race, I have had people who are 70 years old overtaking me and going ahead.
Oh, really?
The oldest guy who's finished, I think, is 84 or 85.
Oh.
Okay, a full Ironman event. So the age is not a bar. That is something I think which we have to go out and see, that people who are there 50, 60, 70, they are doing things way beyond what we think is possible. So age is never a bar. It's I think more of here that, oh, I become 40, I become 50, I can't do this. But no, it's a slow process.
Yes.
I think what changes more is your recovery. Your recovery is much slower as you're older. The chances of injury are much more as you're older. You're not as flexible and nimble as before. So it should be under supervision, especially if somebody starts gymming or something. I always say, have a trainer.
Yes.
Because even a slight you suddenly injure something.
Yes.
And don't overdo it. Start slow. You have to build up slowly.
Yes.
You can't imagine from bed to I'm going to do a marathon in 1 month. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
You have to gradually build up to it.
Said that you have seen people in 70s and 80s run. I think that is very, very enlightening. So, and in my last podcast, we had interviewed a lady. She was 84 years old, and my God, she is inspiring. And that reminded me, she's so fit, the way she walked. And we talked about the same thing, and she reiterated the same thing, being happy and being fit, how much it means to her. And at 84, she is like a schoolgirl. She's as fit. So I really would like to mention that. So now, I would like to talk to you about something called obsessive. Nowadays, people get very obsessed with things. So there's something called obsession about healthiness, fitness freak. So how do you think, there are ladies at menopause? So do you think they need to take some extra precautions in their diet, or something extra they should do to keep themselves fit?
I think it's very important that has to start much before. Because once you hit menopause, your bone density starts going down.
Yes.
So your bone bank has to be made before you are hitting your menopause. So it's very important for them to be active. So physical activity is directly correlated with your bone strength and your muscle mass. So activity has to start much earlier. I think I've seen a lot of ladies who don't like to take milk, or they have a lot of, even though, we are promoted to have a lot of milk and curd, they don't like milk, curd.
Yes.
So that diet has to be good from beginning. And I think the bone bank has to be made before they hit menopause. Because once you hit menopause, you're not going to make any more bone. You can only preserve what you have, unless you start taking pharmacological methods in this thing. So that awareness that, by 2030, you have to be more active and physical exercise, that's something very, very important.
So that is another word you use, bone bank.
Bone bank,
yes. Yes. So there are people these days who are very health obsessed. I wouldn't say conscious. They are probably not conscious, but they are very obsessed. Fitness freak. And we have heard a lot of youngsters who have lost life while they were on the treadmill, or they were very gym goers. So do you think they are all related, and there is some lesson we should learn? Or do you have, because you're a doctor also, so any important message that we should carry home?
I think this type of a personality disorder, like they may be obsessed about work, the same way you're obsessed about fitness. So again, balance is something, I believe a lot of balance. Balance is something very important. You have to balance you can't give away your life for this. In the sense, I can't stop doing my work. I can't stop doing look after my family and say, I'll do this only. That doesn't make sense. So you have to find time, what works where, balance everything out, and listen to your body. So a lot of times people do have some discomfort, some pain. So like we say, you should go through your pain. You should, ride or whatever. But some amount of pain is fine. It happens. You do a new exercise, you will have some pain. But if it's persisting, you're having a discomfort, it's definitely worthwhile in going and checking it out and getting it checked. And definitely now we see cardiac disease is not something which is only for the older people. So 30-year-old people who have cardiac diseases, lifestyle, smoking, this thing. So if you're having a problem, you should definitely get it checked and don't ignore it. And especially when younger people tend to ignore it, nothing will happen to me.
What do you think is the cause for this health freakness or fitness freak? What is the cause? Do you think media is to be blamed?
I think yes, there's a lot of trend, with unhealthy, especially about food and diet. There's a lot of protein right now. So yes, you do require protein. Like if you remember school, in our books, we have that plate now. So but nobody talks about it.
Yes,
see,
true. Nobody
plate
talks
is divided,
about it.
carbs, fat. So the people go, I don't eat carbs. I said, I don't eat fat. I said, your brain is fat only. If you don't have fat, your brain is not going to work. So that nobody talks about having a balanced diet. And we were only taught about balanced diet.
Yes.
You should have so much of protein, you divide it. That concept is always focused on one thing. And everybody's looking for an easy way out. I'll do this and I'll get. Because I don't think anything is like that. If I do this, and everything will happen. You have to balance out everything.
Yes, true. So I think we talked a lot about what you actually said, and I am also taking them back home, that to live in moderation and to take control of your life. That is very important. Not to think of what others are thinking about me, not to meet others' expectations. I should meet my expectations. I think these are some very important facts.
I think you should do what makes you happy. Not what makes others happy.
That is, your happiness is important. And staying connected with being disconnected. I think that is very, very important.
I think that's more for us, like being doctors. I'm sure you also see patients who are, you have been with them for years, and suddenly, you know the end, but you can't keep thinking,
Yes. Now I'm going to ask you for a marathon here itself.
Okay.
Ready for that?
Yes.
Endurance test passed?
Done.
Okay. So I'm not going to tell you to run. I'll give you some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
And you have to be very honest in replying.
More like a 10K sprint.
Yes. Okay. And I am going to use my chart for this. Okay. So it's your answers should be short and quick. Surgery or starting line adrenaline?
Surgery.
Oh, so that means you'd introduce yourself as a neurosurgeon first. Going back to the first question.
Yes, but surgery still excites me more than just the race.
Yes, I agree with you. Had I been in your place, I too would have said that. So, the marathon's solitude or the OT silence, which appeals more?
Both are same, because when you're in a surgery, you're zoned out. And when you're doing a marathon, so especially for Ironman, you're not allowed to have any electronic devices. There's no music, nothing. So you're in your own solitude. So they're very similar for me. So if I'm in a difficult case, I have no idea what's happening around me.
Yes.
I'm absolutely zoned out. And same thing happens in a marathon.
Right. So a 5 a.m. training or a midnight emergency call?
5 a.m. training. Too old for midnight calls. Doesn't recover. Next day your sleep is gone.
Yes. So one race in your life which you'll never forget?
So I did one full Ironman. That was, so till now I'm a bit of I'll say I've done a lot of half Ironmans. I say, okay, I finished, I'll go on. But this full was something, you've done something, achieved really something major. The finish line felt like something, I've done something. So yes, after my MCH, I would have felt this was, we've done something, we achieved something. So this was the Ironman Hammock, which I did in June last year. And that was really, really...
Yeah, I can imagine that. And I will take this opportunity to congratulate you for that Ironman. And I hope that you do keep on doing such things and keep on inspiring us.
Hopefully.
Now, one patient you will never forget.
So I remember that we had this kid, he was a kid from Nepal, and he had this big tumor in the brainstem. So like a typical brainstem glioma. So, most of the time, they do badly and nothing.
Yes.
But it was slightly exophytic, not this thing. And he had gone over multiple places and everybody said, no point doing surgery. But the father was very keen. And it was sort of not deep inside, it was coming out. And operated on the child, 12-year-old child. Surgery went okay. Post-op, he was doing well. Suddenly he had, one day remember, luckily at 9 or 9:30 when everybody was there, he had a transient arrest. He had a sudden arrest, could be revived. And luckily it happened at a time when people were there. It would have happened at some other time, gone.
Yes.
Then the biopsy came back as pilocytic. That's a non-malignant.
Oh my God.
Non-malignant. Child has recovered completely. He sent TikToks to me from there. And post-op scans were clear. Small residue, which we gave radiation much later. But from something which I remember everybody had declared, inoperable, no point, no life. And his school is doing everything, is growing perfectly.
Yeah, that's amazing. Being a doctor, I can actually, it's a miracle.
Yes. So everybody said, I'm on the MRI, there's a glioma, high stage, this thing, but came out to be pilocytic and it was exophytic. could remove it completely. It's very
Wonderful,
nice.
wonderful.
So still remember that child.
Yes. And how is he doing now?
He's fine. He's going to school. He's doing everything. So he sends me videos from there. He makes TikToks and all that he sends.
Wow. So I think if we have one clipping, we can include that in this, if he also agrees.
No, he has made a video also before, so I'm sure it'll be fun. Yes.
Wow. So I think this again, endorses what I believe always. Miracles happen to those who believe in them.
Yes, I do agree.
Yeah. So music during runs and music during OT.
So music during runs, no. Because in Ironman, you're not allowed to have any electronic device with you. Okay. So never train with music before. And during OT, depends on the anesthesiologist. They want to play something, they play. They don't want to play.
Does it depend on the anesthesiologist?
So I am not a type to really demand for music. So I zone out. If I'm busy, I'll be zoning out. So I have no idea what's playing. So it depends on the person on the other side. If they want to play something, I say, please go ahead, whatever you want. It doesn't really trouble me.
Okay. One myth about neurosurgeons.
One myth. So we are supposed to be infallible, supposed to be, gods, do everything, but we are finally humans, and we may come out as feeling, that we're not connected and we're not really bothered about what's happening to the patient. But yes, I think most of us do get affected, but it's something which we have made a mechanism very early on to have that wall. Otherwise, because the amount of morbidity and death we see, I think among all the medical professions, that's the most we see. So from day one, we develop that, wall and how to be away from it, how to move on.
Because contrary to what many people believe, we doctors, neurosurgeons, we are equally affected by each patient's outcome. Yes. We are happy when they are doing well.
Definitely.
And we are sad when they are not doing well. So it affects us equally, maybe sometimes more.
So we may not show it.
We do not show it because we have to move on.
Yes, we cannot sit and cry over it because we have to move on. I think that's
all there's another patient waiting.
Yes. And then things have to keep on happening.
Absolutely. Yes.
But then doesn't mean that we are not affected by it.
Yes, actually. So one myth about runners.
So runners, I don't think it's a myth. Most of the time, like we have a joke for Ironman. How do you know somebody is in an Ironman? Is that he will tell you. He will tell you. Right? Either you'll have your t-shirt is there, you'll have this thing. Yes. So I won't say myth, but yes, that's something which is there for all people, all doing endurance sports, either is running or this thing. They will have enough paraphernalia or something to tell you that I've done this.
Yeah. So I think you have completed the marathon, and you do deserve a big trophy for it.
Yes, thank you.
So I think there'll be one closing question for you. So, after you have seen the fragility of human brain, so after seeing that fragility of human brain so close, so what do you think is life still so meaningful?
I think I'll go, anything can happen anytime. So that old kahavat is there, kaal karo so aaj karo, aaj karo so ab. Do what you want to do. Don't wait for things to happen. I'll do it that time. Yes. You don't know when you're going to have a simple stroke. You see so many strokes, you see so many bleeds. People who are fine otherwise. So that can just destroy your life. So don't wait for the future. If you want to do something, do it.
Yes.
Whatever it is. Yes. Don't think that I'll do it when I have this. I've achieved this, I've achieved that. Enjoy life and do what you want to do.
Yes, true, very true. And the last question will be, how would you like people to remember you in future?
So I think I'm somebody who's always helpful in a lot of different fields. It's not about neurosurgery or this thing. I'm advisor to a lot of my friends for any medical problem. Yes. So somebody who's genuine, who's tried to do the best, and nobody should feel that I'm doing something for an ulterior motive. I'm there just to for what the best can be done. It may be right, may be wrong, but I'm trying my best to, whether it's my patients, whether it's a friend, whether a colleague, whether it's about surgery or about even running or something. Somebody asks me something, I'm there just to do what the best is possible. So that's as a genuine, like I said, Anurag, not a neurosurgeon, not a doctor, not an Ironman.
Yeah. I think that's so beautifully you have placed it, and I agree with you that you're such a beautiful soul inside out, and I would really say that you stay, you're younger to me. So I would really, bless you
Thank
that do stay the way you are.
Thank you.
And it has been such a lovely, lovely Sunday afternoon with you. And
Same
I'll
here.
always remember this episode.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
It's
you
my
so
pleasure
much.
being here.
Thank you, everyone, for watching today's episode. And do subscribe and share this episode.
So if you have any doubts about neurosurgery or endurance sports or Ironman, please do drop in your questions or queries in the message box below, and do subscribe to this channel to see future podcasts. Thank you. I was always obese.